So I've had this ringing in my ears for a while now. If you've dealt with tinnitus, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That high-pitched tone that never really goes away. Now I've been building soundproof rooms, testing quiet gears, making everything quiet for years, and I started noticing something strange. The quieter the room, the louder the ringing felt. So I started digging into it, testing a few things, and that's what this video is all about. How tinnitus and soundproofing are connected and how to set up a space that helps instead of making it worse. But what is tinnitus? Tinnitus isn't a sound in the room. It's a sound your ears or your brain is creating. Most of the time it's caused by some kind of hearing damage. Could be loud music, power tools, concerts, even just getting older. There's no speaker playing sound, it's just there. And when you're in a noisy place, your brain doesn't really notice it, but when you remove all of that background noise, it becomes a lot more obvious. But why soundproofing can make it worse? This is the part that caught me off guard. I always thought the quieter the space, the better, especially if you're trying to relax or sleep. But once you start blocking out all outside noise and there's nothing left in the room, that's when the ringing really stands out. Total silence doesn't give your brain anything to focus on, so the tinnitus will just take over. I've built vocal booths, test rooms, and ultra-quiet offices, and in every single one, I notice something more. Same thing happens to a lot of people who gets into soundproofing. You remove the external noise, but now you're stuck with the internal stuff. But you're probably thinking, all right, I know all this, I have tinnitus, but what actually helps? So here's what I found that works a lot better. Instead of going for total silence, the goal is controlled sound. You still want to block out annoying noise, stuff like traffic, HVAC hum, footstep noise, but once the room's quieter, you actually want to add back in some low-level background noise. You can easily do that with a brown noise machine. I prefer brown noise over white noise. It's deeper and less sharp. Video right there if you want to learn everything you want to know about brown noise. Also, a quiet fan. Ambient noise apps like rain, waves, wind. This kind of sound will mask the tinnitus. You're not trying to drown it out completely. Just cover it up enough that your brain stops paying attention to it and driving you crazy. Here's a real world example. I had someone message me after they built a super quiet recording booth. Treated walls, weather stripped the door, the whole thing. Looked perfect, but once they started using it, they said they couldn't stand being in there because the ringing in their ears felt twice as loud. They ended up adding a small brown noise machine just to be able to sit in the space for more than 10 minutes, and after that, they were totally fine. Use acoustic panel or absorption to get rid of harsh echoes within the room. But there are ways to soundproof with tinnitus in mind, and here's what I would recommend. I'd recommend you focusing on blocking the sharper, more irritating noises first, like footsteps, HVAC noise, road noise. That stuff will add stress, and stress can actually make tinnitus worse. And then once the room is quiet, add back in masking sound. Doesn't have to be loud, just enough to keep things comfortable. And if you're setting up a bedroom, a small brown noise machine works really well. But if you don't want to buy one, you can even use an old phone or a speaker and just loop a soundtrack overnight. And now, what should you avoid? Loud air purifiers and fan with high-pitched whines. They might cover the tinnitus, but they'll drive you crazy in a different way. Rooms with bad echoes also. Like I said, you can remedy that with acoustic panels. And also protecting your ears is a big one. I didn't use earplugs for the longest time, and I wish I had. Even stuff like mowing the lawn, loud tools, they add up. So if you're just looking to buy something to help with your tinnitus and you don't really want to build something, well, like I said earlier, brown noise machine. You set it up, you forget it, you don't have to use your phone or an app. They're quite cheap and very small. You can just throw it somewhere. Soft acoustic panels, you can build your own, and you can make the room sound a lot better. And also, if you don't really want to buy a brown noise machine, if you have a fan, small fan, that also works quite well at creating some brown noise in the room. But tinnitus isn't something you can cure with a product. The right environment makes a big difference. And if you're into soundproofing like I am, just be aware that going a little bit too far into silence can backfire on you. If you also deal with tinnitus, let me know what helps you. If you found this helpful, hit subscribe. And if you're looking for ways to soundproof your room on a budget, video right there.